Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the next episode of the NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industries Spotlight Series of some of the finest remodelers in the Washington, D.C. area. Today, we have John Tabor of Tabor Design Build. Welcome, John.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
Excellent, thank you. We're shooting this after July 4th. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for asking.
And now back to work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Okay. Well, John, one of the first things we like to hear from the people that we're visiting with is how did they end up in their company? Tabor Design Build. How did that come about? What was the impetus? What was the force behind that creation?
Okay. Well, I was majoring in engineering in school, and it took me a couple of years to realize that I did not want to be an engineer. But I was doing, I worked as a carpenter for 7 years for various builders and remodelers before I went to college. And I was doing repair work for friends and family on weekends and at night while going to school. And I realized I loved working for myself. And I decided this is what I want to do. And so I dropped out and started my first remodeling business back in '86.
'86.
And I've worked for myself ever since.
All right. So please forgive me. As a father, I just have to ask, when you dropped out, how was that phone call home explaining that you were dropping out?
Oh, yeah. My mom was horrified.
But she ended up being proud at the end, I'm sure.
Yes, she did.
Excellent. Okay. So you've been in the remodeling industry now for, what, 30 years or so?
Yeah.
Or 40?
Right. 30-something years, yeah.
30-some-odd years.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part? What keeps you in it?
My favorite part is when we get finished with a project and people thank us for transforming their lives for the better, by transforming their home for the better and giving them much better flow, giving them purposeful rooms, making their house easier for them to get around in and such.
All right. So that sounds to me, and I'm not in your field, so I may be wrong, but that sounds like a very personal type thing. Like what would be a good house for me may not be a good house for my neighbor. Is that accurate?
That's right. It is very personal. Everybody has certain things that are very important to them that nobody else cares about.
Okay. So it sounds like, and I always hate, whenever you do anything, it's the whole package that counts. But it sounds like maybe the design process is the single most important. If you don't get that right, everything else is in trouble.
That's right. Good design is the foundation to this process. And that's when we want to discover what is important, uniquely important to that couple.
So would you mind just describe what that design process would look like for someone?
Sure. We do all of our designs in 3D. We've got a 52-inch TV screen on the wall of our conference room. And I've got a guy who's very good with this 3D design software, can create things and move them around very quickly. And so what we do is get the picture out of our clients' heads and up onto the TV screen, and then we refine it into something that we can build and make our plans from that and build it. So it is their design, basically, with our help in refining it and figuring out what will work. And we let people know what the advantages and the disadvantages of every choice are, so that they can make the right choices for themselves. Of course, if they want to do something that we think is a bad idea, we will tell them that and tell them why we think it's a bad idea.
Right. And what the trade-offs are.
Right. But in the end, it's what they want.
Right. Okay. So they come in, they sit with you. Is that usually in one stop? Does that happen over a couple of meetings?
It takes a couple of meetings to refine that, depending on how intricate the project is.
Okay. And my understanding from the way you're describing it is they actually get to see it before you build it.
Exactly. Before we did it that way, we used to do it on paper in 2 dimensions. And a couple of times when we got finished with building it, people would say, that's not what I thought it would look like. And I thought, yeah, this is terrible. I mean, you spend all this time and money to design something and then build it, and it's not what you thought. So I've decided 12 years ago, I'm never going to let this happen again. And I never want to hear those words. It's not what I thought it would look like again. And we decided to only design everything in 3D. No more 2-dimensional designing. And so we've never heard those words since then.
Excellent.
I plan on never hearing them again.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be terrible to go through that whole process and end up at that spot.
Yes.
But that actually brings up a second part. It's one thing to have a great design, but I'm going to assume that in at least many of these cases, people are still living in the house that you're working on. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's right.
So, okay, so we know what the design process is like. Well, what's the build process? That's got to be interesting.
Yes, and about half of our projects, clients are living in the house during the remodeling. And what we do is we have one of our lead carpenters, project manager, is in charge of their project. He's there every day. And he manages the plumbers, electricians, drywall hangers, whoever else is on the project. And also, we give all of our clients a schedule for the project of what's going to happen every day so that they know ahead of time what's going on with their project. And we find that this relieves a great deal of the stress. And with our scheduling, we can also finish our projects a lot faster than industry standards. So we make it as least disruptive as possible.
Right. All right. That makes sense. So let me ask. Obviously, you and I have met because of the National Association of the Remodeling Industry.
Right.
Can I ask, does that help you do your job better? Is there, why do you spend the time and money to be part of that organization?
NARI is a fantastic organization. I've met so many great people there that we work together with, from different suppliers, trade contractors, other contractors, and I've learned a great deal too. I'm a certified remodeler. I took that course and passed that. And we teach that course and the certified lead carpenter course at our office. But what NARI is doing is raising the standard of our whole industry. Okay. I'm on the ethics committee because many years ago I also had a client tell me that being a member of NARI didn't mean anything. Anybody can join. And I told him, no, that's not true. And that was his perception. So I decided to help get rid of that perception and strengthen NARI's image even more. But being on the ethics committee, we've gotten rid of a few people who are ethically challenged and made it harder to join NARI. So it's only people who are on the straight and narrow can join.
Right. Yeah, it's funny you should say that. I obviously went through the process of joining. I'm not a contractor. I'm in digital marketing. And I was amazed at how much information I had to supply them, including insurance policies and stuff like that. I mean, they're very thorough.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
excellent.
Yeah, your application was great. I remember it was very complete. Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess another question that I always find interesting is there's a lot of awards and the like for um, for projects done in houses and stuff. I know NARI has some of their own. Have you, has your organization won any of those?
Yes, yeah, we usually pick up a Cody award every year or so.
Okay, what's Cody? What?
And that's Contractor of the Year award.
Okay.
And for our projects, there's a number of different ones. And just last year, we won a regional award for pretty much like the whole East Coast for
Really?
an addition project we did. And on this project, both of these clients were engineers at NASA. And so we did a mosaic on the floor of their foyer of the solar system there with different granites and other semi-precious stones inlaid in their floor.
Wow.
That was a lot of fun to do. We don't often get to do artistic projects like that.
That sounds really unique and special. It makes it a very personalized house, which
Yes.
we all desire, right?
Right.
All right. So I guess one last question.
Yeah.
You spend all this time working for other people. Does John ever have any fun?
Oh yeah, yeah. My favorite sport is scuba diving. I'm looking forward. We're planning a vacation with my family in Iceland this November. We're going to go there to see the Northern Lights, and I'm going scuba diving between the two tectonic plates. It's a North American plate and the Eurasian plate, where they meet in Iceland.
Really?
So, looking forward to that.
Okay, John, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Swimming in November in Iceland is not on my list of fun things to do. Do you have special equipment for that?
Yeah, yeah. I wear a dry suit.
A dry suit, okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
I stay warm.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much. We really do appreciate you spending some time with us and appreciate you sharing with us what your company does and what makes it special.
Well, thank you. It's great to talk to you, Art.